Welcome, welcome to the ladies' room, where real men talk and truth go boom. Good morning. If your man acting up or your woman losing she mind, right we don't hide till we inside, 'cause ladies' room go set it right.
And this is where we say good morning again, everybody. Welcome back to the room, the ladies' room for today, Tuesday, March 10th. It's indeed a pleasure to have you back as per usual. Trust everyone is doing fine, doing okay. Got up with an attitude of gratitude this morning, and you're ready on whatever life throws at you. If you're celebrating a birthday, do want to wish you a wonderful celebration of life. Celebration to take that turn around the sun one more time. Happy birthday to you. Also want to say happy Tuesday to everyone. You're just here celebrating life, thankful for all its little blessings, the ups, downs, the good, bad, uglies in the front. Just thankful to be in the land of the living. Thank you so much, Power 95. Also got to say special thanks to our partners for making this program possible. St. Augustine Medical Services, Land Store, Western Union, Beacon Insurance. Thank you so much for powering us up for yet another morning. Those of you listening on Facebook, or viewing on Facebook or YouTube, or listening on radio, 95.1, 95.3. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on in the room, guys, and please share, because we're about to have a really, really serious conversation this morning. Oops, I forgot my TikTok people. Jeez. Sorry, TikTok. But TikTok is so sensitive. It's like there are so many words and terms you can't use, and they're flagging you for almost everything. So I'm sometimes it's scary to even let me try, but I don't know. But if they take it, they cut it off, they cut it off. But we need to spread the word everywhere. It looks sort of blurry. Okay, sorry. Beauty Slayer Sheldon, we change your name? Okay, I like that. Beauty Slayer Sheldon. Welcome, TikTok. Good morning, everybody. Who's here? Shante, good morning. Good morning. Jenny Charles Gilbert. Come on the live, guys. Don, hey, you're alive, miss? I ain't seen you here for a long time. Hope you're good, though. Haven't seen you in a minute. Hope all is well. Good morning, Shante. Morning, Lydia. Good morning, Shauna. Maureen Isaac. Good morning, Yvette James. The folks in Carriacou. Hope everything is coming along nicely. Good morning, Andrea. Good morning, Jackie Douglas Adams. Jackie, I hope you're doing better. And of course, again, want to extend condolences to you and your family on the passing of your granny. Yeah, so please convey my condolences to your mom and everyone else. Hope you guys are doing okay today. Trisha Franklin, good morning. Nissy, good morning. Vanessa, how are we today? We good. Brenda Durant. Shauna Dakota, good morning. Shauna, how you coming, Grenada? Not even say a word. What little behave so? Not even a, you know what I want? Anybody coming down the road anytime soon? Can you bring me some skinny popcorn. Yeah, that's all. So you see, it's not even a lot. It's like $6 for a pack of 10 or something like that. So anybody that's coming anytime soon, some skinny popcorn. That is my comfort snack. I'm not a sweet person like ice cream. I have to like feel for ice cream or chocolates and those sweet stuff. Popcorn is my thing. I can eat popcorn all day, all night. And since Sue introduced me to Skinny Pop, I swear it's almost like I've developed an addiction for it. And once in a while, I'll find it at a particular supermarket here, but they don't carry that brand at all. So anybody coming down the road, the original one, not the cheddar thing, the one in the green and white bag. Yeah. Please and thank you in advance. That's all I ask. Say, see, Shauna, you could have just bring down some popcorn for me, but no. Y'all just want to sneak in and sneak out. I don't know why they just do that for you, know. Anywho's. Good morning, Jenilyn. Morning, Melvin. Lindy, good morning. All right, so my sister says it's skinny popcorn. It is. Melvin Brown, a birthday pass. You could have sent me a box of skinny popcorn. I really need to review this relationship with you. Yes. Anywho's, hope your wife had a great birthday yesterday. I know you made it extra special as per usual. Roxanne Scott, good morning, and thanks for looking out as always. Valerie Ross, Nakisha Allen, who else is here? Precious Jewel. Lydia says today I'm celebrating life. Every single day we have to, because here today, gone tomorrow. Marian Frederick, good morning. Jayla Board, Belinda Modest, good morning. Cindy Ann Smith, Michelle Phillip, good morning. Not forgetting my beauty slayer Sheldon, Deborah Brown, who else? Rachel Boateng, Jackie Chaiton, Barbara Phillip, good morning, cuz. Happy Tuesday. Ari, good morning. Isha Roberts. Isha, your name pronounced Isha or Aisha? Anyways, good morning. Marvelyn Thomas. Welcome to the room, May Cyrus, Joanne Batson, Rendell Amade, Debbie Crony, good morning. Crony, I see you already on the road this morning, girl. Morning, Rhonda Maureen. Everybody, welcome. Naya, good morning. Hello from London. What is my best? Whatever. Between you and Jackie, I don't know who food more hot. Thank God you get a little rest now with your grandmother passing. Hey, Alicia. Morning. Morning, Nissy. David Salfordley, Toronto on the inside. Kareem Khalees, morning time. Aruna could never take the two of all you serious ever. Fed up with that on them. Morning, Ian Baker, Megan Lewis, Charmaine St. Clair. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the room. So, like I said, we are in sporting season as well. There's a lot happening. Getting ready for Intercall. 3 days. So, make sure you guys come and support your past schools. As always, we're sailing St. Joseph's Convent, St. Andrew, and St. Andrew's Anglican Secondary School. All schools in St. Andrew combined. The rest, y'all could do whatever you want with whatever you have. But we rep St. Andrew. That's all. Anyways, I'm sure you guys saw the topic. Listen, I need y'all to share the live, please, and thank you. Just share the live. Lucky Frank, good morning. Morning, Sonia, but one Boca Secondary. Boca Secondary in anything? Yeah, I shouldn't say that because y'all been definitely doing a lot lately in athletics. So big up Boca Secondary School. Big up all the except the green one. Dwayne, nobody asked you anything about GBSS. Please and thank you. You know, Dwayne, what's the principal of Boca Secondary School? Not Boca, no? GBSS again. Kenny James. Want to tell you, Mr. James, out of order. So on Saturday was Media Awards, right? So we're there talking and asking him if he's coming on the walk yesterday, Sunday, sorry. And, you know, we were telling him, well, the Presentation Brothers College will be there to sing. According to the Africa, the effrontery is the attitude that Mr. Man stand up with and say, my boys don't sing. We don't sing. We beat drums and we run, etc., etc. And it's like the way the man responded is like I insulted him by asking him about next week. Yo, I swear I can't stand y'all GBSS past students. Y'all act as though you're sitting at the right hand of God the Father. Y'all are just so ending. Like chill. I can't stand y'all energy, I swear. Like just chill. I'm telling you, it's the energy the man stood up with and be like, my boys don't sing. And he was like gross disrespect to even ask him that. Like, you know what? Whatever. Y'all GBSs, y'all are too much. Just chill. Oh God, here come Regina about chill. Why? You have something in GBSS water for them past students and them about great is the GBSS. If Shelly Waldron and running this morning, she name change. That means she either busy or something. She's another a next one. Um, what's her name? Trina Langdon, another one. Student. And I don't know how Trina come out in St. Andrew. Went to school in convent. We used to jump on SAS bleachers until it break. And nobody can even make a joke about SAS. Nobody can even make a joke about GBSS on Nursery Post. What him coming? What him run coming? About what stunner? I hear GBSS. Watch. What speed they coming in with? Where all let us be all the time? One little GBSS mention all you hot and sweaty this morning. Dwayne, go and prepare for your go and do your work, please. You and Stunner and Riggy and the rest of them. What great is the GBSS? Look, Lord, look at Shem Rich. Take your time with GBSS day. One question I have to ask before I move. What is so special about the GBSS? What makes you all so special, unlike the rest of us? Who nominated y'all as special at top of the list? Watch. That's just as great as the GBSS on my page, on my live. I love my GBSS. Watch them. One GBSS, never two. Watch them. Well, next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday specifically, we will know who is one and who is never two. Because I listen. You see that disrespect y'all did putting the ship that ran aground on Saturday, I think it was, and somebody had the testicular fortitude to put SAS logo on the ship that ran aground sometime, was it in Victoria, wherever on the weekend. You have the level of disrespect meted out to us. We're not here for it at all. Y'all are very disrespectful. Yeah? This thing came up, but I'm not gonna lie, it was funny though. I laughed. Whoever did that, that was funny. That was real funny. Whoever doing whatever, man. Are you sending for me? Let me see what message you sending.
Thing is special about the GBSS. Every single thing is special about the GBSS.
What?
Special. Unlike the rest of us. Aruna, everything is special about the GBSS. Every single thing is special.
Jane, have a wonderful day, please, and thank you. And come off my life. Right. So, as I was saying, last week, they put the sinking ship, they put the SAS logo. No, whoever do that, that was bad. Trust me, that was a very good. No, trust me, I laugh. I'm not gonna lie, I really laugh. That was a classic. That whoever did that, trust me, you come good day. Anywho's, we move. Y'all ain't getting me to stay on this GBSS topic all morning at all. Yeah, I don't know why I even went there to begin with. All I was saying was Intercall next week, bigging up who I'm supporting, and them green beasts and them just run coming hot and sweaty about great is the GBSS and the one GBSS, never two, and all kind of motivation this morning. That's not what we came here for. As we were saying, this topic this morning, I asked a question. As a matter of fact, Roxanne, big up yourself. I did see it since last week, but with all the preparations for walk and everything, I didn't get the chance to repost it. But thank you so much, Roxanne Scott, for bringing it to my attention yesterday. There was this particular post making the round on social media. It was written by one Brent Martin since the 27th of February, but somebody screen grabbed it and, reposted it. And he was asking, ladies, at what age did you first experience sexual advances from an adult male? And boy, when I clicked on the person who reposted it, the responses, the responses, the responses, the responses, the responses. I can't say that I was shocked, but you can't help but be shocked, right? Because because I've experienced it. I've also experienced it. And I asked the question, it might make a lot of you uncomfortable, and I've had women inbox me privately to tell me, listen, this is the age, but it is hard for me to put it out there because of other things that happened. It made a lot of women uncomfortable when I asked, what age did a grown man first make you feel uncomfortable as a girl? Not when you were an adult, not when you were in college, not when you were in your 20s, when you were a child. And yesterday I asked the question again, like I said, on my Facebook page, and the answers came quickly. 7, 8, 9, 10. And as I read those numbers, I realized something deeply troubling. For many women, their first encounter with sexual attention didn't happen when they became women. It happened when they were still children. One simple question, at what age? And for a moment, I had to stop scrolling, because suddenly this was no longer just a Facebook question. It became something much deeper. It became a quiet space where women began sharing truths many of them have carried silently for years, as on the original poster. Some said primary school. Some said they were so young they didn't even understand what was happening. If you're okay with saying on the live, you can put the age that you had that first encounter, that first feeling, yeah? And that's the part that's really sat heavy on my heart. Because when a child experiences that sort of attention from an adult, they don't have the language for it. They don't have the understanding for it. They just know something feels uncomfortable. Something feels confusing, sometimes even frightening. Because you know what? You were told as a child that, certain parts are off limits. Nobody should touch you here, there, or wherever. So you already have a little understanding, because from a little child, they always tell you nobody's supposed to touch your private parts, etc. So you may not fully understand it, but as you get older, you will have a better understanding. But that was drummed into your head. That was instilled in you. Some said they were so young, they didn't even understand what was happening. And that's the part that really sat heavy on my heart, because when a child experiences that sort of attention from an adult, they don't have the language for it. They don't have the understanding for it. They just know something feels uncomfortable, it's confusing, and sometimes even frightening. Someone here is saying 5 years old. I saw 4 as well. 9. Lydia, I was 8. Belinda, I was 8. But a lot of the times they say nothing, they say quiet, because that's the culture many of us grew up in. A culture where girls were often told to, like I said yesterday, you should be seen and not heard, told to be polite, to be respectful to your elders. And a lot of the times it came from the elders, the adults. So you were taught to be respectful of your adults. Dwayne says, I see a 3. Yep. You were told to be respectful, to not make a scene. And sometimes the person making the advance, it wasn't a stranger. It was a family friend, a family member, a relative, a neighbor, people that you were familiar with, not necessarily a stranger. Someone who laughed and chatted when the adults with the adults in the living room while making a young girl feel uncomfortable when no one else was looking. I saw someone made a post, someone commented on the post yesterday, and they said something that was, I'm like, wow, I never really thought of it that way. She said, hold on, let me see if I find it. In my time, men gave corn curls and snacks to groom children. And that brings back vivid memories. They would give you a little pack of corn curl to touch your hand, to touch your little boobs, and you don't understand, but you know it's uncomfortable. And parents and adults, like she said, laughed and made fun when older men would say they like their daughter. This person says, I remember this older guy in the community telling younger girls, as long as puppy has its tail, you and my love will never fail. I love you as a pig love mud. People laughed, but it was serious. People laughed, but it was serious. And then when I read through the rest of the comments, I realized something else. For many women, it didn't start with something obvious or aggressive. It started with the comments. You're getting big, girl. You're looking nice now. You're pretty for your age. At first, that might sound harmless to some people, but for a young girl, those words can land very differently, especially when they come from an adult man. Then sometimes it becomes, the lingering looks, the unnecessary touching, a hand that stays too long on your shoulder, a hug, that feels different, a comment that is whispered when nobody else is around, and that child feels it. And looking back, the question really brought you back to a time when you didn't think much of it. But when you look back to those innocent, those touches you thought was innocent, a hand on your shoulder, a hand that, lingered too long. Children know when something doesn't feel right, even if they can't fully explain it. And that is how I felt. But here's the painful part. Many never told anyone. And even when they did, sometimes they weren't believed. Sometimes they were told they misunderstood. Sometimes they were told not to repeat it. Sometimes the response was silence. And silence has a way of protecting the wrong people. And when we talk about these issues, people sometimes imagine dramatic stories that make the news. But the truth is, many of these moments happen quietly in ordinary places, in everyday environments. Everyday environments. You could be at a shop. It could be on a bus. Because sometimes they will send you to the shop, and these shops will have older men, drinking their rum, what have you, and they congregating in the shop, so you have to make space between them to pass. And they're under their old rum and what. So it's all kind of comments they're making. Hey, you're getting big, girl. It could be anywhere. Ordinary places, a family gathering, walking home from school. And the child learns something very early, that the world is not always safe, that some adults do not respect boundaries. And then what we have happening, the responsibility gets shifted onto the child instead of the adult. My ring. At my door. Hold on, let me turn on my comments. my hold on, let me check. That's so nice. Yeah. So the responsibility a lot of the times gets shifted. Somebody's calling. Good morning.
Good morning, Arona. I remember going to school in Plantain, and there's some particular boys on the Carnage. Children used to be afraid of passing there. You know why? Because there were this particular group of guys always used to molest these kids. They couldn't molest me. They couldn't touch me. They couldn't tell me nothing. I was dead, you know? So it has been happening, and I agree with everything that you're saying. Have a blessed day.
Thank you so much. Have a good one. Yeah. So it's been happening. And what makes it sad sometimes you didn't speak up because the responsibility gets shifted onto the child instead of the adult. You hear things like, don't wear that, don't go there, don't smile too much, don't attract attention. But the real question we should be asking is this: why are grown men looking at children that way in the first place? What is wrong with some of you? Why do so many women have stories that start before they were even teenagers? Why did so many of the responses to that seemingly simple question begin with single digits? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That ought to make us all uncomfortable. Aren't you uncomfortable, especially if you're a father of a girl child, to know that there's an adult male looking at your child in that way? Aren't you uncomfortable as a father, as a male, knowing there's somebody looking at your child in that manner? Doesn't it make you uncomfortable knowing that there are adult males looking at your daughter in that way? Childhood is supposed to be a time of innocence, and the stories and numbers I'm seeing, and it goes way beyond just the attention. There are others who've actually had things done to them at that age. Childhood is supposed to be a time of innocence, laughter, imagination. A time when a child should be worried about homework and games and what cartoon they want to watch, and not how to avoid the attention of an adult. So the stories in the comment section tell us something very real, that this is not rare, this is not isolated, and this is something that has happened to many girls across generations. But you know what also happened in those comments? Women began responding to each other. And I'm sitting there reading the comments and I'm like, wow. Some wrote me too. Others like, I thought I was the only one. And you know what happened? And it may have missed a lot of you, but for me, to me, the silence started to crack when people started saying me too. And I thought I was the only one. Because when women and girls speak up, something shifts. Speaking up shines a light on things that have been hidden for too long. And like I said, this question seemed innocent, and I did not, and I'm sure the person who posted it never imagined the amount of responses he would get under that post. And to see so many women saying, me too, I thought I was the only one. It is shining a light on things that have been hidden for too long. And that is the only way we can get to the root of the problem. We can find solutions is by shining light. And those cracks that are there, busting them wide open so we can see what's in there. So many Me Too moments were in that comment section. It really tells other survivors that they are not alone. And what it also does, it removes the shame from the victim and places the responsibility where it belongs, on the person who crossed the line. Speaking up also protects others, because sometimes when one person, all it takes is one, because the first person who probably responded started that chain reaction. And when somebody see, okay, this person was brave enough to stand up and say, you know what, this happened to me too at age 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, others followed along. All it took was one person finding the courage to say something. And when we do that, it prevents the same behavior from continuing with someone else. Theo says, I was so ashamed and hurt, I don't even talk about it. And see, that is what we need to break. We need to get into the habit of talking about it. Because when we don't talk about it, it's almost as if nothing is happening. It's almost as if we live in this perfect, perfect world and we do all the right things all the right time. So we have to develop a culture of speaking up, because what silence does, it protects the predators. But truth protects people. So that is why it's super important for women and girls to feel safe enough to speak, to say when something made them uncomfortable, to be okay, doesn't matter who it is, uncle, cousin, brother, whatever. To speak up when someone crossed a boundary, to say when something didn't feel right or doesn't feel right. We have to get to a place where we understand that, their voices matter, their experiences matter, and their stories deserve to be heard. But this conversation cannot stop with women alone. Boys as well. Yes, boys as well. Girls as well as boys. Because I've had a couple men inbox me to say the same thing. So it's not only girls that felt that unwanted attention. Also boys. But like I said, women, boys, girls, men cannot end the conversation, cannot stop. The conversation cannot stop there. There's a message here for parents, because too often I hear stories of children going to their parents to tell them, and they don't listen. They don't want to hear. Or you're playing woman or you're playing big man and you're too rude and you have vice in your head. That's what you hear a lot of the times. Oh, you have vice in your head. Silence protects the predators, but truth protects the people. So the message here for parents is to listen to your children. Stop telling them they're rude and they have vice and they're playing big man and they're playing woman, and beating your children because they come to you and say, you know what, this person is interfering with me. This person touched me inappropriately. On one hand, you're saying to them, nobody should touch you in certain places. But when they come to you and say, this person might be a friend of yours, might be the man that you're with or the woman that you're with, whoever it is, you're now turning against them. So you're contradicting yourself. Listen to your children. Listen to your children and create an environment where they feel safe enough to tell you anything, even the uncomfortable things. Alan George, morning. Believe them when they say something or someone made them uneasy. Yeah? Do not dismiss their feelings, and especially in the times that we live in, listen to your boys as well, because there are stories that I'm hearing about that involves little boys. Do not dismiss their feelings. Pay attention. Do not brush it aside because the person involved is someone you know or trust. It's also a case of older women interfering with little boys, adult men interfering with little boys, adult men interfering with little girls. Do not brush it aside because the person involved is someone you know or trust. Or even adult women interfering with little girls. It is real out here. And listen, sometimes I wish I wasn't in this position to hear certain things because I get it all. When I tell you, I get it all. The good, bad, ugly, everything comes my way. So we can't live behind this rose-colored glass and think that everything is honky-dory and perfect out here. It is not. It is not. Do not brush it aside because the person involved is someone you know or trust. Sometimes the hardest truth to accept is that harm can come from familiar places, and that is where you have to look first. Stepmothers, stepfathers, cousins, uncles, you have to look close first because that is who your children come in contact with more. Your children are hardly exposed to strangers out the road. They're more in there. You're confined to your community. So you know your community members. You know your people in your yard. Teach your children about boundaries. Teach them that their body belongs to them and teach them that no adult has the right to make them feel uncomfortable. And if they ever feel that way, they should speak up and they will be believed. But a lot of the times, you parents and guardians, you don't believe. And on the pulpit preaching, they're everywhere. Protecting children is not just the responsibility of parents, it is a responsibility of all of us. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning. Interesting topic. A week ago, my 7-year-old little girl came and said, Mommy, my friend so and so touched me in my crisis. As you as a parent, you would be so shocked, not even to imagine that a girl her age would do that. When I told the teacher, the teacher told me she aware of the situation and this child has a problem. So parents, we need to speak to our children and
So the teacher told you that they're aware that and parents are not put on guard or not brought to the attention of a teacher, of the parents, etc. So you only
I
found
just
out
wanted
because
to-
your daughter complained to you that.
I left it for the teacher to handle because this is so sensitive and I'm still in shock that a child at her age, the teacher said the little girl has voice. I guess it's the environment. So to go to an experience with that is so touchy and so sensitive. I don't know. Trust me.
Wow.
To be honest,
All right. Thanks so much for sharing.
thank you.
Okay. Well, I really hope that something will be done in terms of, speaking to the child, getting the child some counseling and therapy, and checking on the environment that child comes from. This should be looked at ASAP. Education, social services, etc. You know what? Could you send me a number, caller? Could you send me a number on the WhatsApp? 4409595. This needs some following up to find out what sort of environment this child is exposed to at that age to be thinking of doing other things to another child. So that's what I'm saying. We have a serious, serious problem around us. A sexual problem. So that just before you called, that's what I was about to say, that protecting children is not just the responsibility of parents, it is a responsibility of all of us. Teachers, neighbors, relatives, friends. And I hope as a parent that you will not just sit back and take this lightly, but speak to the teacher, speak to the principal. Because if the teacher is saying this is not a first time occurrence and it's happening to, then it is a problem. Then that child needs to be counseled and we need to find out what is happening in with that child and around that child. So I hope you would not just take this sitting back and hope it doesn't happen again, but you will follow through with the school, with the teachers, and really get on top of this because this is serious. Yeah? We have to create communities where inappropriate behavior towards children is never normalized, never ignored, and never excused. The responsibility of the teacher is to let the parents know, also to let the ministry know, also to let social services know, so they can take a look into the environment the background, what's happening, what is this child exposed to that makes her want to do things like that. Yeah? We must create communities where inappropriate behavior towards children is never normalized, never ignored, and never excused. Every child deserves to grow up feeling safe. Safe in their homes, safe in their communities, safe in their childhood. So that question yesterday revealed something important. There are many, 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 many stories out there that people have been carrying quietly for years. And maybe now it's time that we start talking about them more openly, not to dwell in the pain, but to learn and to protect and to do better for the next generation of girls. The real goal should be this, that one day, if someone asks that question again, the answers will be very different. That instead of hearing 7, 8, 9, we will hear women say, that never happened to me. And that would be the kind of answer worth celebrating. One day, somewhere in the future, someone may ask that same question again. Ladies, at what age did you experience sexual advances from an adult male? Hey, DJ Lawrence. And it is my hope that when the question is asked, the silence will be different, not the silence of fear, not the silence of shame, but the silence of a generation of women who pause, think, and finally say, that never happened to me. And that will be the day we know something truly changed. Gabby says in the USA, teachers and others that work with kids are mandated to report these situations, and others, this needs to be law in Grenada. So that is why I'm trying to find out what exactly is going on here, because it just seems so by the way, oh, this happened and I didn't hear a part of, okay, the children were called in, and I really hope that is the case and it's not something that they hope go away on its own. Because no child that age should be even thinking about things like that. That means something is happening at home. They're exposed to certain things. And if it's not happening at home, maybe they have devices that they're exposed to. They can go on different sites and watch different things that they're not supposed to. So it may not necessarily be just at home. Home could be okay, but what they're exposed to, what they're looking at online. So it could be a combination of one or the other or both. But it is worth looking into and not just sit back quietly and hope it goes away. I really hope that will not be the case in this situation. Yeah? Because this is serious. This is serious. So, like I said, we have to break that cycle and we have to be comfortable with speaking up. We don't treat sexual assault as a big deal. Somebody touching you without your permission, smacking you on your behind, hand lingering on your shoulders, hugging you and then pressing up themselves against you. All of those are unwanted, and we don't take those things seriously at all. When you speak about it, oh, why are you playing? You think you're better than people, or you this, that, and the other, and it doesn't matter if you had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different men. That is, long as you did not give that person permission or consent, it is not your place to touch anybody's child. Yeah? We've normalized those things. And now it's time to stop. On that note, it's time for me to wrap it up. Tomorrow we'll have another interesting conversation as we shift gears and make sure we all do our part where we can. Yes, Sunset City, Grenada, I did say that. Lots of young boys are molested by adults as well. It is bad. So it's not only girls we have to be concerned about. Our young boys as well are being molested by adults. And they're afraid to speak. we have to create that safe space where children can tell a parent, guardian, teacher, or family member or somebody that they're comfortable with, this happened to me, this person touched me, this person made me feel uncomfortable, or this person said that to me, they want to do this to me, or they want me to do this to them. We have to get to a space where we are comfortable having these conversations. For too long, we've been told, oh, we followed from the sky, oh, how were you conceived, oh, a bird dropped you off, and all kind of nonsense stories. We need to be more open with these conversations, age-appropriate conversations. As the age increases, the conversation tone shifts. But we should be comfortable having those conversations with your children. Because if you don't, as a parent, you can't expect people out here to tell your children the right things. It is your responsibility to sit your sons and daughters down from a very early age, especially now when times have changed so much. The earlier, the better. Age-appropriate conversations. And you'll let them know what time it is. As they get older, every year, you increase it. If you're uncomfortable having the conversation, seek someone who can. There are so many materials online. There are books, etc. You can give to them and tell them, sit and read with them. And then what they don't understand, tell them, hey, what you don't understand, ask me. Because I know people are uncomfortable having the birds and bees conversation. Imagine we're in 2026 and adults are still uncomfortable speaking about those things. I don't get it. I don't get it. So, we're going to keep the conversation going. So thanks again, everybody, for checking in. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so very much. Western Union, Beacon Insurance, Land Store, St. Augustine Medical Services for powering up our room once again. And to everyone who contributed to the conversation, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, thanks so much. See you guys again tomorrow, God's will, for another conversation. All right? Have a great Tuesday, everybody. Zafir, you're late. Good morning, madam. I have to, Andrea, because TikTok would block me. You can't use the S word. They're very, very, very sensitive. So I have to use that for radio, for online purposes, for the live purposes, because they're playing the monkey with me these days. Every minute you're getting flagged for using words according to them that are not online. Yeah, they're very, very strict. So I have to be very careful. I got flagged twice yesterday. Anyways, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right? Later.